He can maintain for hours if he needed. His core is shredded. He's absolutely in the best shape of his life, and it's shown with making very hard things look easy in the gym.
Nice try.
I really paid attention to what I was putting in my body and how it was affecting me in sparring, affecting me in training. So it's really been a journey this camp, and I really dialed in on that. And that's really taken me to the next level.
Ryan Garcia just destroyed his own reputation with one training camp confession, and what he admitted about his preparation for Mario Barrios is absolutely wild. While everyone's watching those flashy Instagram videos of him throwing his signature left hook, the real story is happening behind closed doors. And it's not pretty. Ryan's himself came clean about struggling to train more than 2 days straight, with his body completely shutting down on him and constant health checks disrupting everything. This isn't just about being out of shape. This is about a fighter who's supposed to be in his prime admitting he can't handle basic training camp discipline. And here's the kicker. This fight on February 21st isn't just another payday. According to boxing legend Garcia's, this is literally do or die for Garcia's entire career at welterweight.
Lost weight, but gained some strength. Reaching a level that surpasses any level that we've reached in previous camps. To continually improve and get better every day.
We'll be right. Starbucks mocha. Have you had your yogurt today or no?
I ordered it for some reason.
We just got done blanching these carrots right here. Long ground rice blend ready to rock. Butternut squash. We're gonna make this into puree. Chef Carlos.
And how long have you been working with Ryan?
Last year for the Fortuna fight is when we started working with each other.
But here's where it gets absolutely insane. Tarver didn't mince words when he broke down what's really at stake here. He straight up said that if Ryan can't beat Mario Barrios, his dreams of becoming a legitimate world champion at 147 pounds are dead in the water. Not delayed, not postponed, dead. And you know what's wild about this? Tarver's not some random hater throwing shade. He's a former champion who understands exactly what it takes to reach the top level. When he says Garcia's talent and speed mean nothing without proving himself against tough opposition, that's coming from someone who's been there. The pressure is unreal. This isn't just about winning a fight anymore. This is about validating whether Garcia deserves to be mentioned alongside elite fighters, or if he's just another social media star who talks a big game but can't deliver when it matters most. Now listen to this part, because respected trainer Robert Ryan just exposed something nobody's talking about. During a recent conversation, he revealed that Garcia's entire career trajectory has been artificially accelerated by circumstances and timing rather than actual skill development. Think about that for a second. Robert's basically saying Garcia got lucky with the division's shifting landscape, getting high-profile fights that should have gone to more deserving fighters. But here's the thing, Robert also acknowledged that Antonio's marketability and explosive left hook make him dangerous to anyone. The problem? Those attributes alone can't carry you through a championship run. Boxing demands resilience, mental toughness, and the ability to adapt when opponents figure out your game plan. And right now, Tarver's showing none of those qualities consistently. Hold up, did you catch what just happened in Garcia's recent sparring footage? While his team's posting highlight reels of pad work, insiders are painting a completely different picture of his training situation. Richard Hitchens, who knows a thing or two about elite-level boxing, just dropped a bombshell assessment that should terrify Garcia's fans. Hitchens admitted he was genuinely unimpressed with Garcia's performance against Rolly Romero, And that fight exposed some serious flaws that opponents are definitely taking notes on. But get this, there were rumors floating around that Garcia had been training from home instead of in a proper gym environment. From home. Let that sink in. A professional fighter preparing for a career-defining bout by working out in his living room. Thankfully, recent updates show he's back in an actual gym, but the damage to his reputation might already be done.
And I have to lose 30 pounds, remember how to box, and try to get sharp all in 2 months. And I don't even know how my body's gonna react. And it wasn't reacting. Every 2 days, it would just shut down. Runs didn't feel right. Nothing felt correct as it should. And I'm not blaming anybody. You come to find out, you know, whatever was happening in the Haney fight, it will never be replicated again. You can't do that. I still don't know to this
That was
day
crazy, yeah.
how I was able to drink and do whatever I wanted and somehow still win. I just wanted to make a mockery of Devin Haney.
And here's where the Mario Barrios camp is licking their chops. Bob Santos, who's been guiding Barrios since day one of his professional career, just revealed their exact strategy for dismantling Garcia. Santos isn't worried about Garcia's speed or that famous left hook. Why? Because he's watched the tape, and he sees the same thing every other trainer sees: a one-dimensional fighter who crumbles when his signature weapon gets neutralized. Santos emphasized that their approach isn't about chasing highlight moments or getting into a slugfest. It's about applying steady pressure, maintaining composure, and exploiting the glaring holes in Garcia's defense. Barrios has captured 2 world championships by sticking to fundamentals and ring intelligence, exactly the qualities Garcia seems to lack right now.
In the training camp, I couldn't train hard or good for more than 2 days straight. My body would be like rejecting a run, rejecting anything I was doing. It was like, damn, like what's wrong with me? I kept checking my blood, I kept checking everything, like, well, something's going on. Like, I didn't realize that, you know, all the stupid you did throughout the year, it's hard to get out of your system in 2 months, and you're 30 pounds up and your body ain't gonna be moving like a system. So it was just a big disconnect, but I didn't realize it at the time. It was just like, oh, I gotta do this, and I tried to make way what I had. You know, he caught me with a shot.
Oh my gosh, a double hook, short hook, caught.
Shot. He caught me one shot and then kind of pushed me, knocked me over because I was squared up. But I wasn't hurt.
But wait, it gets worse for Team Garcia. Santos revealed something that should send chills down Antonio's spine. Barrios enters this camp with complete confidence and maturity, viewing this as an opportunity to reaffirm his place among the elite. While Tarver's struggling to string together consecutive training days, Barrios is treating this like the career-defining moment it is. Santos trusts the foundation they've built together, and he's betting that experience and adaptability will overcome Garcia's raw explosiveness. The mental warfare has already begun, and Garcia showing up to a psychological battle completely unprepared. This isn't just about who throws harder punches. This is about who wants it more and who's willing to do the work when the cameras aren't rolling.
The guys that hold the championships, you can look, I believe he has a chance to win this, bro, and become a world champion for the first time in his career. I think it's the perfect opponent when you look at all the other champions. If he can't win this fight, I think it'd be hard pressed for him to win a title. You know, if he's ever gonna win a title in boxing, it's a perfect setup for him, because I just believe when you look at the power of Barrios, it's not really devastating. You know, when you look at his boxing ability, he's a good fighter, but nothing really sticks out as great. You know, I just think he's a solid fighter, but I just don't think he's the best champion out there right now today. Solid fighter, has a belt, but I just don't think he has anything when you look at knockout power, extreme boxing ability, other than his heart and his toughness. You know, I don't know what else sticks out for Barrios, and I just believe that's why, you know, but when he had that draw with Pacquiao, that showed me, man, that he could still get back to the drawing board and become a better fighter. I think it was any time for him to show some separation, it was against Manny Pacquiao, and he didn't show as much separation as I would have wanted, and that just let me know he's still in the development stage. Even though he's a champion, he's still learning how to become the best fighter that he can be. Still some things need to be filled in, but we'll see. Maybe the champion come ready to fight and put on his very best performance. And I think he'll need that to beat Ryan Garcia. Now, again, Ryan is not coming in off the best win or the best performance himself. So it'll be important for Mario Barrios to start early and let Ryan Garcia know that it's gonna be a nightmare if he thinks he's gonna take his title. So that's the type of energy Barrios need to.
Here's the brutal reality nobody wants to admit. Garcia's recent performances have been absolutely concerning, and his last loss was a disaster that should have never happened. Critics felt that fight should have positioned him more favorably in the division, but instead it exposed every weakness in his game. His over-reliance on that left hook has become a liability rather than an asset. Smart opponents know exactly what's coming, and they're preparing accordingly. When you can only threaten with one weapon, elite fighters will take that weapon away and leave you with nothing. Garcia's camp knows this, his opponents know this, and deep down, Garcia probably knows this too. The question is whether he's willing to completely overhaul his approach, or if he's going to keep doing the same thing and expecting different results.
He's like Destiny's Child. He's a survivor. He just keep blasting. He's just in there, right? He just keeps blasting.
Good for him, man. Good for him. Can't be mad at him. You know, can't be mad at his luck, because I could say that is luck. You know, he's lucky that these guys are around in the division and calling his name out and fighting him. But when it comes to the fight, look, Ryan is got so much power and speed that if Ryan does prepare himself and Ryan does pick the right trainer to come up with a good game plan, and Ryan follows it, because I'm not saying, you know, he's never had great trainers. He's had great trainers, but if he doesn't follow the instructions, and if he doesn't follow the game plan, then there's nothing nobody could do. If Ryan does follow the game plan and disciplines to put up a great.
So here you have it, a fighter admitting he can't handle basic training, facing an opponent who's been preparing for this moment his entire career, with legends like Garcia Ryans saying this is literally his last chance at welterweight legitimacy. Garcia's natural talent and social media following got him this far, but February 21st is where talent meets preparation, and preparation always wins. This isn't just about boxing anymore. This is about whether Garcia's can prove he's a real fighter, or if he's just another cautionary tale about wasted potential. What do you think happens when that bell rings? Can Garcia's overcome his training struggles and pull off the upset? Or is Barrios about to expose him as the paper champion everyone suspects he is? Drop your prediction in the comments, smash that like button if this breakdown opened your eyes to what's really happening, and subscribe because this fight is going to be absolutely explosive. I'll see you in the next one.
But poor Luke Campbell never got to be a world champion, but his title shots came against Linares and Lomachenko, you know, so that's why he was never a world champion. You got a guy like Barrios. I mean, a lot more guys to become world champions. I think Luke Campbell's a better fighter than Barrios as well, if you put him head to head in that stylistic matchup. So I think Garcia has wins that are comparable to maybe even better than a guy like Barrios.
Last time we talked about failing up, Chris, it was George Kambosos Jr. We talked about just how fails up, just like finds big fights somehow. But he did have the big upset win over Teofimo Lopez. It kind of put him on a level that I don't believe he was capable of defending. Do you agree with Paulie that Ryan Garcia does have the wins to kind of tantalize us about his ability, even though he's been so disappointing the last couple of years?
Regardless of skills and performances, what Ryan brings to the table is popularity. And you mentioned it from the on.
But hold on, because there's another layer to this disaster that nobody's talking about. Garcia's team just made a shocking decision that has boxing insiders questioning everything. They've completely changed his nutritionist and strength conditioning coach just 8 weeks before the biggest fight of his career. 8 weeks? You don't blow up your entire support system 2 months before a do-or-die fight unless something went seriously wrong behind the scenes. Sources close to the camp are whispering about disagreements over Garcia's diet and training intensity, with his previous team reportedly frustrated by his inability to stick to basic protocols. This isn't just switching trainers for strategic reasons. This is panic mode.
I don't know, Ryan kind of turned me off at that Rolly fight.
Didn't you say something about where he was training? Because I mentioned it too, that he would look like he was training in his house.
Yeah.
But he could be trolling. Yeah. And really training.
No, it look like he's in the gym now. Yeah.
It look like he's in the gym. He look like he's trimming down. He look like he's in shape now.
Definitely looking in shape.
Yeah, he definitely like he's getting smaller. He's trimming down. I was looking at his pictures. I'm like, yeah, he like he's getting ready to fight. But what turned me off about Ryan was when I was watching him and Rolly, like ringside, it looked like Rolly froze him. Like after the second, third round, Rolly dropped him. It looked like he was very hesitant. Like, and it looked like all he was looking for was that hook. Like he was waiting for that hook. I feel like I can't just say Ryan is a super talented fighter, but IQ-wise, he only knows but few things. Like he's always gonna resort back to that hook. And if Barrios coming to the right game plan,
And here's what makes this even more wild. The new nutritionist they brought in has never worked with a professional boxer at Garcia's level. Never. They're bringing in someone who's worked with influencers and Instagram fitness models to handle the dietary needs of a guy who's supposed to be fighting for his career at welterweight. Meanwhile, Barrios has been working with the same nutritional team for 3 years, fine-tuning every aspect of his preparation. The contrast is absolutely staggering. One fighter is experimenting with his entire support system weeks before the fight, while the other is executing a proven game plan that's already delivered world championships.
And you're on that undercard, that looks like a setup to me that maybe you and the winner of Ryan and Barrios.
Yeah, it could go that way.
Or you don't want to jump up to 147 so soon.
I do. I want to go to 147.
You want to eat a little more.
Yeah, I want to eat a little bit more. But I also want to eat a little bit more at 140. There's a lot bit more fights as far as financially.
No, I mean literally eat.
Yeah, I want to eat. Yeah. I want to eat both ways. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
But yeah, 140. My days at 140 is numbered now. You know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I feel like it's numbered. I feel like I'm tired of just like pushing my body to make the weight, even though it's not like. I feel like I've heard extreme more stories of fighters making weight, but I feel like I just don't want to.
But wait, it gets even more insane when you look at Garcia's recent medical history. Remember those health checks he mentioned that keep disrupting his training? Well, sources are now revealing that Garcia has been dealing with recurring anxiety issues that are directly impacting his ability to maintain consistent training schedules. This isn't about being lazy or unmotivated. This is about a fighter whose mental state is so fragile that he physically cannot handle the stress of proper preparation. Boxing is 90% mental at the elite level, and Garcia is showing up to the most important fight of his career with his mind already compromised. How do you game plan around an opponent when your own brain is working against you?
I'm Mario's manager. Mario's been with me. He turned pro with me. I was the head in his corner from his pro debut. And, he's won two different world championships. Sometimes you need a different voice in the corner. We're coming off two straight draws. To me, I know there's much more that he could give and do better. So, sometimes a different voice, could change things up. I worked under Joe Gooses for many, many years, so I have a great relationship with Joe. I have great respect for him. He's a Hall of Famer. And sometimes you just need a different voice in the corner. The last fight with Pacquiao, I felt like there was sometimes a sense of urgency that we could have got more things done. For whatever reason, they didn't get done. And, I have to take responsibility as the head coach.
And here's where Team Barrios is playing absolute chess, while Garcia's playing checkers. Bob Santos just revealed in an exclusive interview that they've been studying Garcia's patterns for over 6 months. Not just his recent fights, but going all the way back to his amateur footage. They've identified specific triggers that cause Garcia to abandon his game plan and resort to wild, desperate swinging. Santos knows exactly how to push those buttons. He's planning to have Barrios apply body pressure in the first 3 rounds specifically to test Garcia's conditioning and mental resolve. If Garcia's already struggling to train for more than 2 days straight, imagine what happens when Barrios starts grinding on him for 12 rounds.
I thought what was best for him is me to step aside, get a new voice in there, a new guy that can, whip the pony, get it going in the right direction, make a change, because 2 draws is just not acceptable.
Going back to that Manny Pacquiao fight, people were saying that, it looked like he kind of got shell-shocked that he was fighting Manny Pacquiao. I mean, what did you get out of the reaction of Mario Barrios not being able to pull the trigger at times?
Yeah. sometimes that's another big reason I think it was good to make a move for him. Sometimes you could get too many cooks in the kitchen.
The psychological warfare is already working, and Garcia doesn't even realize it. Barrios has been completely silent on social media. No trash talk, no flashy training videos, just pure focus on the task at hand. Meanwhile, Garcia's posting workout clips that boxing experts are calling concerning and amateurish. Former world champion Paulie Malignaggi just broke down Garcia's recent mitt work and pointed out at least 7 fundamental flaws that would get him knocked out against any legitimate contender. 7 flaws in basic pad work. Malignaggi wasn't trying to be mean, he was genuinely worried about Garcia's safety in the ring. When former champions are questioning your basic technique 8 weeks before a fight, that's not a good sign.
You might say, okay, Henry, but that's Tank Davis, elite level counterpuncher. That's Luke Campbell, Olympic gold medalist. They're much more talented fighters than Mario Barrios. But then I take you to his most recent outing, and he lost this fight. It's the reason people are like, how on earth does he have a world title shot in his next fight? Well, that's what being good looking in a massive commercial pool does for you. But I take you to the Rolly Romero fight, and Romero is okay, but he's not an elite level fighter in my opinion, but he was someone who had sparred a lot of rounds with Ryan Garcia and understood Ryan Garcia as a fighter. And again, he shows you the way here with effective counterpunching and isolating those weaknesses of Ryan Garcia. So what you'll see here in the Romero fight, and what I really like about Rolly here, is that he's not afraid of Ryan Garcia rushing him. And Ryan Garcia wants to do what Ryan Garcia does. Those things we explained before, he likes to press the action. And it's early in the fight. And this made him so apprehensive for the rest of the fight that he lost. As you can see, Ryan Garcia, he steps into the pocket here. And even though Ryan Garcia is right in front of him, Rolly knows Ryan's probably looking for...
But here's the part that should absolutely terrify Garcia's supporters. Barrios just brought in a new sparring partner who's been specifically chosen because he mimics Garcia's style perfectly. This guy is a southpaw with explosive hand speed and a dangerous left hook, basically a Garcia clone. Barrios has been spending entire training sessions learning how to neutralize that exact style, while Garcia's been struggling just to show up to the gym consistently. The level of preparation happening in both camps is like comparing a NASA space mission to a paper airplane contest. One team is leaving nothing to chance, while the other team is hoping their natural talent will somehow overcome months of inadequate preparation.
I feel like that culminated in the Romero fight because Ryan Garcia was expected to beat Rolly Romero. He's not seen as being the best operator out there, Rolly Romero. And I guess it shows you that a fighter who's not even top level can exploit Ryan Garcia with the right game plan. So can Mario Barrios do it? And what can Ryan Garcia do about it? Can he change? Can he fix these problems? Well, even though I don't think he's particularly consistent with his counter-punching Barrios, he has shown in moments he can do it. And so if Ryan Garcia remains the same, I think there's a chance he can execute this. I'll show you in this fight here against Akhmedov, when Barrios was down at super lightweight. Watch here. So he steps in with the jab, which misses. Akhmedov then returns with his own backhand, which Barrios pulls back from. And then in that moment, you can see his right hand here is away from his chin, a la Ryan Garcia, I suppose you could say. Barrios catches him with a counter left hook, which is the exact position that Ryan Garcia has been a little bit weakened, and he touches down there, Akhmedov. Against Ugas, we see him land a nice counter jab here as Ugas fires his jab, he catches it, throws his own jab up the middle.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned until next time.
And get this, Garcia's longtime strength and conditioning coach just gave an interview where he basically threw Garcia under the bus without mentioning him by name. He talked about working with fighters who have all the physical tools, but lack the mental discipline to maximize their potential. He specifically mentioned dealing with athletes who make excuses about their bodies shutting down during training, calling it a mindset problem rather than a physical limitation. The timing of this interview is no coincidence. This is someone who worked with Garcia for 2 years, basically saying that Garcia's training struggles are self-imposed mental barriers, not legitimate physical issues. Meanwhile, boxing legend Bernard Hopkins just weighed in with an analysis that should make Garcia's team panic. Hopkins broke down the difference between fighters who train through adversity and fighters who make excuses when things get difficult. He didn't mention Garcia by name, but everyone knows exactly who he was talking about. Hopkins emphasized that championship-level boxing requires the ability to push through discomfort, pain, and mental fatigue on a daily basis for months at a time. If you can't handle 2 consecutive days of training, how are you supposed to handle 12 rounds of championship-level pressure? Hopkins called it the difference between champions and pretenders, and right now Garcia is looking like the biggest pretender in the division. But here's where this story takes an even darker turn. Garcia's former sparring partners are starting to speak out, and what they're revealing is absolutely damaging to his reputation. Multiple fighters who have worked with Garcia in previous camps are describing a pattern of behavior that includes showing up late to sessions, cutting sparring short when things get competitive, and constantly complaining about minor injuries that disappear as soon as the cameras start rolling. One sparring partner, who asked to remain anonymous, said Garcia's would dominate the first few rounds when he was fresh, but would find excuses to stop sparring the moment his opponent started figuring out his timing. That's not championship behavior. That's the behavior of someone who's afraid to be tested when the stakes are real. And here's the kicker that nobody saw coming. Garcia's own promotional team is reportedly having serious conversations about backup plans if this fight goes badly. They're already discussing potential opponents for a step-back fight, basically admitting they don't have confidence in Garcia's ability to handle Barrios. When your own promoters are planning for your failure before you even step in the ring, that tells you everything you need to know about their assessment of your preparation. This isn't about managing expectations. This is about damage control for a fighter whose career might be about to implode on live television. The betting odds are telling an even more brutal story. Garcia opened as a slight favorite based on his name recognition and social media following, but the money has been pouring in on Barrios as more details about Garcia's training camp disasters become public. Professional bettors and boxing insiders are hammering Barrios at increasingly better odds, and these aren't casual fans making emotional bets. These are people who make their living analyzing fighters and identifying value. When the smart money is running away from Garcia this hard, it's because they see something the general public doesn't understand yet. But wait, there's more. Garcia's recent interviews are revealing a mindset that should concern anyone who cares about his career. He's already making preemptive excuses about his preparation, talking about how this training camp has been different and more challenging than previous ones. Champions don't make excuses before fights. Champions adapt, overcome, and find ways to peak when it matters most. Garcia is essentially telling the world that he's not properly prepared, and he's doing it weeks before the most important fight of his career. The mental warfare is already over, and Garcia defeated himself before Barrios even threw a punch.